You know, our culture is absolutely obsessed with visible effort. But what if I told you the most impactful minds in history didn't just work harder? What if they operated on a completely different principle? One that, on the surface, looks a whole lot like laziness.
This feels confronting, and it should. It's a direct challenge to what's basically become the modern religion of hustle. The belief that motion equals progress is one of the most pervasive and, frankly, one of the most damaging mental models of our time.
And right here is this specific consequence. This isn't just about feeling burned out. This constant, frantic activity systematically degrades the quality of your decisions. It's depleting your most valuable cognitive resources, and you probably don't even notice it's happening. So that is the central question we're going to answer. This isn't about avoiding work at all. It's about a very deliberate and intentional architecture of inactivity that creates massive leverage. Okay, first, we have to dismantle the trap. This myth of constant action is so compelling because, well, it creates the illusion of control. It makes it look like you're making progress. And this really lays out the core conflict. On one side, you've got productivity theater. It's that exhausting performance of being busy. But on the other, there's strategic impact, which is often completely invisible. See, the real progress, that happens during the periods of quiet reflection, not in some flurry of activity.
And here's where it gets uncomfortable. If the entire foundation of hustle culture is false, it means that your efforts, your long hours, all that frantic energy, you've been pointing it at the wrong target the whole time.
So let's dissect the actual mechanism behind high-level performance. These 5 philosophies, think of them as the hidden operating system of every lazy genius. The first philosophy is selective excellence. Your capacity for high performance is finite. It's not endless. A strategic mind doesn't even try to be great at everything. It intentionally accepts mediocrity in non-essential areas just to free up cognitive resources for what is truly vital. Philosophy number 2 reframes your mind as a battery. And this isn't some cute metaphor, it's a functional model. It's based on a real psychological phenomenon called decision fatigue. Every single choice you make, no matter how tiny, it drains this battery. Research estimates the average person makes around 35,000 decisions every single day. Just think about that. That's 35,000 tiny little withdrawals from your cognitive bank account, leaving you depleted for the few choices that actually create massive impact. And this quote just brilliantly illustrates the solution, right? High performers like Obama, Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, they don't waste decision energy on trivial things. The standardized wardrobe, the great t-shirt, it's not a fashion statement. It's a cognitive resource allocation strategy.
Now, this is a critical identity shift. A doer relies on brute force and willpower to grind through a list of tasks. But a designer steps back, observes the patterns, and builds systems that eliminate the need for active effort in the first place.
Think about it. Goals and to-do lists are fragile. They depend on things that change all the time, like your mood and your energy level. Systems, on the other hand, are robust. They produce consistent results whether you feel motivated or not. All right, now for a really counterintuitive one. Research from organizational psychologist Adam Grant shows that procrastination isn't always a vice. Actually, when you use it deliberately, it becomes a powerful tool for creativity. The act of starting a task, then stepping away, it allows your non-conscious mind to get to work. And the data here is crystal clear. Rushing to finish a task, what Grant calls precrastinating, it leads to very conventional, low creativity ideas. But the people who delay moderately, they are on average 16% more creative. There is a definite sweet spot between acting too soon and waiting way too long. And the final philosophy is all about rhythm, not volume. Elite performance is not about working longer hours. It's about the deliberate oscillation between intense, deep focus and total, complete disconnection. Charles Darwin is the perfect case study for this. His world-changing work, it was done in just a few short bursts of about 90 minutes each day. The rest of his time was dedicated to walks, to naps, to reading. His famous thinking path wasn't a break from his work. It was an essential part of it. And, neuroscience actually explains why this works. When you rest or let your mind wander, your brain activates something called the default mode network. This is where the magic happens. The DMN connects all these different ideas from deep in your memory, generating those aha moments that focused effort just can't access. Strategic rest is literally how you turn this network on. So what's the price you pay for ignoring these principles?
What is the real-world consequence of living in a state of constant, low-impact busyness? Well, the cost has a name: cognitive debt. It's that deep, systemic exhaustion that comes from spending your finite mental and emotional capital on things that just don't matter. It's exactly why you can feel completely drained at the end of the day without having made any meaningful progress at all. This all leads us to the essential cognitive shift, the one reframe that unlocks this entire methodology. The losing game, the one you can't win, is trying to optimize your actions, to do more, faster. It's an endless cycle of diminishing returns. You have to stop. This is the new target. Your primary job is not to manage your tasks. It is to manage your cognitive state. That is the central asset that produces every other result in your life. So here is your point of control, a single actionable takeaway. Don't add a new habit. Instead, subtract a decision. Identify one reoccurring, low-value choice you make every week, what to eat for lunch, which workout to do, and just make a rule for it. Decide once and free up that cognitive space forever. The real question is, once that energy is reclaimed, what breakthrough will you finally use it for?